Good afternoon, Earthlings. Good afternoon, everyone. Aaron here, aka AJ, aka Papa. It is February 17, 2020, and I am back with another vlog to feast your eyes and ears indubitably upon my sweet little owlets. Today, you're owls, I guess. Well, it's already been a pretty fun day. Zach and I got up about 11 o'clock-ish and went right out for some sushi. We had sushi and then did a little bit of shopping, nothing too crazy, but we went to like a junk store or like a thrift store sort of, but it's individual vendors, like a flea market sort of, and found a few things there, which was a lot of fun. And they have the cutest dog there named Cooper, and we love to pet him and just enjoy that space with the animal. So yeah, we did pretty good. Ooh, look at what I got. Here, let me show you. It's pewter, and it's like a totem pole. I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. It's chilling out on the desk right here next to where I film my vlogs. I really do have to remember to keep an eye on my glasses to make sure they're not reflecting the ring light, which is interesting because I actually don't look at the viewfinder while I'm speaking, or try not to anyway, because it gives the appearance of not like making eye contact with you guys, which is bizarre when you watch it back. So it's kind of hard for me to focus on making sure that in the viewfinder, my glasses aren't reflecting the ring light when in fact I'm not actually looking at the viewfinder. It's like, it's a really interesting use of my peripheral vision. Let's give you a really quick update. I am now almost finished with Anthem by Ayn Rand. I will finish that today at some point, and then we're gonna jump right into book 3 of the Percy Jackson series by Rick Riordan. I have plenty of time since I'm not working today to work on getting a nice yoga practice in, so I'm gonna do that and also practice piano today. So we're gonna get a lot of things done that I don't always have the most adequate time to spend a lot of time on, but we're gonna do that today. Today is technically the start of vacation, but I will resume working delivering tomorrow. But actually I was going to start back today, but Zachary requested a full day of just us doing things together and no work, and so I'm of course always going to honor that when I can. So we're spending the day together, gonna watch some movies later. It's gonna be real chill. I'm gonna cook some dinner. Such a nice relaxing day. Alright guys, so that's all for updating today. I'll give you guys a more in-depth update later, but as for today, let's get right into quote of the day, shall we? Zen quote of the day comes from author Mark Twain and goes a little bit like this. The secret to getting ahead is getting started. Mark Twain is really good at kind of no-nonsense quotes, and sometimes when I'm looking for a quote or a Zen quote, I'll just type into Google Zen quote or spiritual quote or motivational quote, and this quote came up under motivational quote, and I found it to be just kind of like no nonsense, and I really enjoy that, because so much of what I do or talk about on these vlogs has a lot to do with like complex spiritual thought processes, and while that's good, sometimes it gets redundant as well, and not everyone's looking for a spiritual take on becoming Zenful. So I thought today I would just talk about this quote and just keep it real simple. The concept of like getting ahead by just getting started is a really great thought process, right? There's other quotes that kind of speak to this, like the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step, things like that. And it's really very true. We can't get anywhere without taking the first step. We can't get anywhere by not getting started. We have to start somewhere. And I think a lot of times we get really overwhelmed by the end result. It's good to focus on the end result and know what it is that you want the end result to be, but the purpose of that is not to get overwhelmed by it, and it's really easy to do that. If you see where you're at now and it's nowhere close to where you want to be, sometimes we will think to ourselves, well, that's too far of a journey, or it's going to take too long to get there, or, like in my case, I often think, well, by the time I get finished with that education, I'm going to be this age. For some reason, in our culture nowadays, we seem to think that the only good time to accomplish things or to get an education or to achieve things is when you're young, and it's just not true. An education received is an education gotten, you know, or things succeeded at are successes at any age. In order for us to get there, we have to begin somewhere, and it's always at the beginning. It's important to remember that everyone, even the most skillful of any art form or any job function, they all began at the beginning. They all began not knowing what they were doing. It's very rare that people come into this world with a high level of skill set in any sort of skill. They don't come that way often. They often, you know, have worked towards it. They've made it a focus of their life, but they began at the beginning. And once we realize that everyone started there, it takes a lot of pressure off, because if you want to become an artist and you sit down and you judge the first painting that you paint against that of a master of the art form, you will get discouraged. But that master of the art form started somewhere. They had bad paintings, they had, you know, mishaps with their skill. They even reached points in the practice of what they were hoping to do where they thought that maybe they weren't supposed to be that thing. For some reason, in some people, they reach that point and they persevere and they work through it. And for some people, we stop and we move on to other things. And that's not to say that that's a bad thing either, but we just need to be kinder to ourselves in the way of achieving things, and just recognize that first off, the journey begins with the first step. You have to start somewhere. Better to start at the beginning than anywhere else. And then also that we're going to make mistakes along the way. We're going to have bad outcomes to things that we try. We're going to have bad paintings. We're going to have horrible, you know, grades on papers. We're going to trip and fall. We're going to hurt ourselves sometimes working out. All of these things are going to achieve a bad result sometimes, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we don't have the skill set to achieve at the thing that we are hoping to achieve at. Guys, start somewhere, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. If you want something, if you want a better life, if you want to achieve something in life, if you want to be the best version of yourself that you can be, it doesn't matter where you start so long as it's pointed in the right direction. So start today, guys. Take a step in the direction that you are hoping to end up at. In the direction that you're pointed, if you can see the end result, you're pointed in the right direction and you should start stepping. I know you guys can do it. It's really just a matter of getting to a place in your life where you recognize that you are worth making the effort towards a better life. We all deserve it. You deserve it, and you have the right to it. So get out there, guys. Kick some ass. We'll talk to you later. Bye.